Today's question comes from Bella in California. I have $150,000 in school loans. My fiancé has no debt and has more than that amount in savings for a house down payment. We've been together for 5 years. I believe my loans are setting us back on marriage and buying a home together. He prioritizes his, quote, financial planning more than the progress of our relationship. I'm working my butt off to pay these loans while he has the cash to help me and ultimately us. He insists on holding on to the down payment money instead of helping me. He says he wants to marry me, but I feel that his timeline is not very timely. I need perspective on whether I am right in all of this.
Oof. George, you've been married sooner than me. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I feel like this is less of a financial question and more of a relationship question. I don't like this idea of he's prioritizing financial planning over our relationship, and I want to know if I'm right and if he's wrong. These are just backwards ways of thinking about this relationship, and I think both of them are wrong in some ways. I think they need to have a we mentality if they're about to get married, and these loans are about to become his loans and their loans instead of, well, that's her thing, and I've got my money here that I've worked so hard for. Now she's screwing all of this up. That attitude is going to hurt them in marriage.
Bella, yeah, there's a big, giant, flashing red sign saying, stop, danger ahead. And I know you love this guy, and I'm confident that he loves you, but y'all are living parallel lives and parallel tracks, and you are trying to combine lives, combine futures. You are hitching your wagon to this guy and him to you, but you're trying to do it halfway. And so before anybody takes any more steps, you'll need to get in with a premarital counselor today, tomorrow, ASAP. This is a recipe for a disaster, an absolute disaster. You're not on the same page financially. You're not on the same page relationally. You're not on the same page for supporting one another. Earlier in one of the breaks, I got a question on social media. Somebody asked me like some secret tips of marriage. And I asked George, and he said, outserve each other. It's exactly right. And this one is out-earn. Y'all are trying to out-earn each other, try to out-compete each other, out-work your butts off for each other. And this is just the backwards way into a marriage. Backwards way. By the way, this question right here, I need perspective on whether I am right in all of this.
Not what to do, but whether I'm right.
Let me be super clear. If you have an argument with your spouse or your fiance, and one of you wins, you both lose. Arguments in marriage are not to be won or lost. You're not at war and competition with your spouse or with your fiance. The problem is the problem. The challenge is the problem. You're trying to solve something together, not win against one another. And if you find yourself in competition, I want to know if I'm right or I think he's wrong. You are on dangerous ground, man.
John, I can count on 0 fingers how many times I have won an argument with my wife and it brought us closer together.
0. Never.
0.
Never.
So here's my thing. If I'm in their shoes and they can get on the same page, what I don't want is for him to be resentful because he had all this money and they paid off the loans instantly as soon as they got married. And now he's resentful because like all this, I worked so hard for this and she took it all away. It's going to create a lot of resentment. Now that's the right thing to do financially because now you are one and her debt is your debt. But I don't want this to create resentment. And I feel that like that's what's going to happen if he does this.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, it's going to create resentment on her part because she's stuck paying her loans, and he's going to go, I'm not paying your loans. I'll get us the house because that's my thing, but I'm not touching your debt.
And then she lives in, quote-unquote, his house as his wife, as the mother of the children in that home. They're all living in his house.
Yep.
Because you've got this debt you're working on.
It's a dangerous situation.
Yeah.
This is not heading down a good road already. So they need to get on the same page, or otherwise this is not going to work,
Absolutely.
regardless of the finances.